Hello, everybody. Welcome back to a new episode of Tales from Tomorrow. My name is Kyle, and I will be your overseer for this evening. This is episode 9 of our actual play series, so welcome aboard. If you are just catching up at all, want to do that backlog of episodes, we've got about 9 or so uploaded already to our YouTube channel, so you can find that, Tales from Tomorrow Fallout. And if you want an easy link, go to tftfallout.com, where you can find our Substack and get subscribed there. If you are someone that enjoys these episodes, we offer them in audio-only format as well for you podcast listeners. It gets syndicated every Wednesday out there, so enjoy and dive into it. We also have 20% off Bethesda code, so if anyone is interested in checking out the Bethesda gear gift shop, we get a kickback. You save 20%. Use code BTales9. That's B as in Bethesda, Tales as in stories, 9. Also, code BTales7 and BTales8 might also work, but they might expire by the time of this episode. Where we had left off last week, our adventurers had traveled up north from the Red Rocket Station, where they had gathered some supplies to build up a windmill in the town. They were looking for generator parts and other advanced mechanical assets for that. And along the way, they met the Free Radical Raiders down there. They were able to make some friendship with them, get a passcode to the West Virginia lumber mill, and actually salvage a really awesome APC and armored personnel carrier from that same Red Rocket Station. There was a military checkpoint there. The Free Radicals hooked them up with a fusion core to get them back on the road. And they're on their way up to Hope when their friend Rusty Dusty Bones, the merchant, had told them about a salvage operation the Free Radicals were carrying out that had failed. Early on in the game, our players had actually found some Free Radical Raiders camped along the side of the road. I'll try and pull this up for everybody. I probably should have had this one ready first. I got a button, though, now. Whoop! There we go. That makes that shorter. Anyway, so our friends were down at this Red Rocket Station, but they've since migrated up north, and they're back at the town of Hope. If you see this little raider icon, let me zoom in on it right here. This is where they had encountered some of the Free Radicals before. They were attacked, the Free Radicals, by Mothman cultists. The remaining ones have gone to work over at Rusty's farm in sort of a collaboration with the West Virginia lumber mill. There's a little bit of back and forth there where Rusty's farm supplies them with some food. He gets supplies, gets things to trade, kind of runs his own little trade caravan. Those raiders are over there helping now. But the remainder of them, that there was also, that this thing was a small base for something over on the river, a salvage operation of a boat. So that is on the table for our players to go after, though they don't have to. It's just one of the many things that await them out there in the wasteland. I believe in today's game, where we're getting into, the townsfolk are hosting a meeting at some point here to discuss what their next plans are. Rusty Dusty Bones going up there grants the town of Hope access to trade supplies and generally trade routes as a whole. So that's kind of a great asset for the town. They were starting to suffer food shortages and just generally a bit of unpreparedness as our players had just started to figure out how the town was sustaining itself, what their goals were. You can kind of see a great example of the town right here in the background. This is a quick little generation I did months ago, and it sort of guided the development of Hope. It's just this small little main street with a bunch of shops on it. You got the big church at the end of it, and if I press this button, there we sort of go. That's not what I'm seeing on my screen. There we go. That one's better. That map more accurately represents it. So as we dive in with our Relentless Crusaders tonight, we've got we've got Dark Knight playing Jim. We've got Mac Raven playing Raven. And in just a short bit, we will have Sky playing Sam. These characters were kind of left off in the middle of the night here. They went their own separate ways. We had some tech issues at the very end of it. So welcome aboard. DK, how you doing tonight? And Mac, hello to you. Same question to you, yeah.
Doing pretty well. Just keeping up with all the current news and all the threats of World War III, and just like, wow, great! Now I can live Fallout in the real world.
That's exactly right. You can enjoy real-life Fallout soon without having to pay anything extra. Just open those windows and let that snow in, man. Raven's typing us something. As always, Raven uses her vocabulator, and she's chatting with us here in Discord. You'll hear in just a second. Okay, what else do I need to do before we dive into... I'll actually turn on some little city music. If anyone out there has
Doing
trouble...
well waiting for real life Fallout. Come on, Ellen and Donnie T. Don't let me down.
If anyone out there... Oh, by the way, yeah, let's get that out of the thing right off the bat. This is where we lose some followers right away, or gain a lot more. As always, Nazis fuck off. We don't have time for that. I had someone who got mad in the comments section because at the end of the last episode, Mac had said something making fun of JD Vance. So the guy watched like 3 hours of our content only to piss his pants in the comments section at the very end. He said, it's not very mature of you guys to talk politics as I'm watching this game that is built upon the ruins of capitalism. I mean, if you're playing Fallout, you don't understand that it's an anti-capitalist story. You're not playing Fallout at all. You're delusional and having a hard time adjusting to the world around you. And I'd be happy to teach you, but I'm not your parent. So, there's a firm line in the sand. I can only do so much. And as for that guy, he got muted from the channel. So if you're still out there watching, by all means, keep watching to that person. But no one can hear you scream in space. I said that backwards. In space, nobody can hear you scream. It's a little alien. Hello, Sky. Welcome aboard. Good to have you with us. How are you today?
Hello. I'm well. Thank you for the patience.
Sure thing. We're going to have a very abbreviated game tonight, probably an hour and a half at most. We'll be out of here probably around 10:30. So we will dive right into it now that we have everybody here. I just done a quick recap, Sky, that everyone here is in town, and they're all just waiting. I believe you actually had all slept. I will throw that out to people. Is there anything else anyone's doing before the previous night ends? This is your last chance to decide if there was anything you do before you go to sleep for the night. Otherwise, you will wake up fully rested, and you get your bonus 2 HP for the session. So you get 2 to your max HP.
I am good to go, I think.
I've got nothing to do.
Very good. And hopefully everyone can move their icons. Raven fixed, I think, her map issue last time. It was just off the screen. So for any reason anyone cannot do that or can't see it, let me know. I can't move icons on the screen right now, and I'm not sure what the solution to my problem is here. I think maybe I start by resetting my alchemy one more time. I can't move Hell's Bells there. So, again, if anyone has that problem, you're not doing anything wrong. Probably it's just life. Flip us back to this one. I do like the Alchemy VTT in many ways to our audience out there, but, I could use a little help. There we go. I can finally move Hell's Bells. It needed a reset. But we'll go with it. Okay, so diving into it, who's the first person to wake up this day? Who's the earliest riser of the crew?
Me.
Not me.
Not Jim. Sounds like Raven. Raven, if you're the first person out of bed, what are you doing today? Let's hear what she's up to. Who else? Sam, are you an early riser?
Yeah, for the most part. Yeah. If it's busy for today, I'll wake up early.
What time do you think you're going to get out of bed there? 8 a.m., earlier than that? Later than that?
You read my mind. 8 a.m. seems fine. We're not going anywhere today, so 8 a.m. sounds like a perfectly leisurely time to wake up.
8 a.m. sounds good. So Sam's out of bed and on his way. If you're interested, there's going to be the meeting today in town that Tom had told you about last night. Otherwise, the APC is still parked in the center of the street. I don't think that was moved or hidden last time, but left there. And so... that's something. Also, I will give you a heads up that the post office has a little more detail to it this week as well. So I'll let you and Raven take it away.
Playing in the APC.
And go for it. Move your butt over there, Raven. Get your butt to the APC. You're over there playing around in it. you have to tell us in chat what you're actually up to. So I'll be quiet. You guys can dive in and tell me what your plans are here.
I'd say I would probably stop and get some breakfast before this little town meeting.
So Sam's
See if
off to the
there's something in
cafeteria.
there.
And what's Jim up to? Jim, what time are you getting out of bed today?
Well, let me tell you, I've got, I don't know what to diagnose it, but I got sleep problems where I just sleep way too damn much. So I'm still in the bed, just not even knowing what's going on.
You know, Jim, you're over there sleeping. Raven's up working on the APC, or playing around in it, as she said. And let's say it's probably getting closer to 9:30. 9:30. They've already been up for about an hour and a half when you hear a rap upon the door. Knock, 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 knock.
Hello? It's open. Come in.
Master Jim, hello, it's me, Alfred. How are you today, sir? It looks like you've slept in. Oh, this place is a mess. Don't mind if I do. And he begins to go and tidy up the room around you.
Well, if I didn't need all this sleep, I'd be up well before they get up, but I sleep too much.
Oh, Master Jim, do you need me to get you some stimulants from Jacob? He might have some pills or something that gets you going, or maybe a great steaming pot of coffee to start your day.
Well, speaking of coffee, I was just about to head over and get some food.
I believe Master Sam's over there as we speak, and I think I saw Raven fiddling about in the APC. I do hope that's okay.
Well, that's fine with me. Just, have fun cleaning.
Oh, I will. And Lena told me yesterday you're looking for antenna parts. I wanted to tell you, yes, Master Jim, before I forget, those odd signals have been reappearing on our maps and radars ever since, but they blip away in somewhere about 48 hours of time. I'll keep you abreast of any changes to it, but I've let Tom know, and he said we should be concerned. They look like SOSs, but then they fade out.
You don't think that they're moving targets, do you?
It's hard to tell, really. Oddly enough, one of them is coming from far north on the outskirts of this town. It looks like it used to be a sort of swanky area of town, but it's a bit further away, and I can't say that many of our guards have dared trespass that far out without risk of, the unexplored and unexplained. The other one is coming from somewhere over the river, but that would be quite a travel.
Well, I'll have to give it a look later. I gotta go eat.
Get your breakfast, enjoy, bon appetit, bonsoir. Jim, you're out of there, you're on your way, go for it, wherever you're off to get some food. Raven, if you want to tell us, what you're up to inside the APC, got any plans in there? You milling about? And while she's typing, let's go take a look over what the other two are doing. We got Sam sitting down. Sam, you've over there found Rusty Dusty Bones. He's getting some breakfast. I feel like that's exactly where you left him last time.
Morning, Rusty. How's it going?
Oh, Sam, good to see you, man. Hey, welcome. I was just going over some of the information we found out yesterday, talking to Tom about it. He was here, about half an hour ago. And I've been kind of observing some of the people as they come through. I'm not so used to being around this many folks all the time. Usually smaller trading posts and such along the way. I like that leisurely farm life.
No, I understand you completely. Trust me. Business has been lucrative, though, now, with all these people around.
Oh, you bet. You bet. I was just last night getting the trading post all sorted out, getting all my supplies put in it. And I'm looking to make some good deals today. Plus, that hunting rifle I parted with and the flamer you guys bought yesterday lined my pockets a bit. I hear there might be some tasks around town for you today, too. Some people are just rumbling back and forth, but I think we'll learn more about that maybe at that meeting. They're looking to do it around, I think I heard 1 p.m., right after lunch.
Oh, well, you know me, always looking for things to do. I appreciate the update.
Yeah, of course.
Hope you enjoy the rest of your breakfast, Rusty. And don't work too hard.
A ghoul's gotta do what a ghoul's gotta do. Work those caps out of your hands, man.
That is true. I'm excited to get to test out this rifle at some point.
Oh, that one's a good one. From memory, is that the Deadeye rifle, did we say? That
Kneecapper.
Kneecapper, that's it. I keep confusing that in my head day after day. But yeah, you get the ability to turn a crit to a leg from a 5 damage down to a 3 is my recollection of that one. So you can really slow enemies down big time with that.
Hopefully I'm rolling a bunch of leg shots.
Well, and you can target those too as a kind of above board reminder that you can target any spot on the body as long as you're willing to up the difficulty of your test by 1. And that is to say, you also could have some perks that let you turn that difficulty down too.
That is true.
So, just options for the people. Jim, you're joining Sam. You got anything to say as you're going in there?
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
Jim?
Morning, sunshine.
Yeah, I know. I'm up way late, but I can't help it. Got these issues with my sleep. I sleep too much. Anyway, I'm been told there's some weird signals coming around on the radar, and I'm trying to figure out what they are.
I'm wondering if Tom might have more about that.
Yes, Alfred said something about Tom's looking into it.
Well, maybe we'll learn more about that at this fancy town hall meeting that's going on.
Yeah.
By the way, Raven says she's over there at the APC dreaming the time she got the gun working and hoping someday she'll get to fire it again. Wondering if the tech that people let walk around in a suit like this. Wondering if the tech that let people walk around in a suit like this. Not sure what that means, Raven, but I like you over there working on that gun. Well, does anyone have things they want to accomplish? Sorry, Sam, go ahead.
I was just going to ask Jen if he wanted to take your order to go and go check out Raven, see how she's doing.
That'll do.
Thanks, Rusty. Good conversation.
As always, yeah. See you later. I'll be at the meeting. Probably catch you there.
We'll see you then. And I trek my way over to the APC, where I imagine I can kind of like see through some of the windows that like Raven is sitting inside it, just playing around.
Kaboom, die bugs.
You see that maybe the turret's out there actually rotating around a bit as it spins, and she kind of aims at.
I just hear the voice synthesizer going pew 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 pew.
And for our people at home, this APC is a double length one. If you want to check out a quick diagram I did by merging 2 of them together, you can go see it over on the Substack page. It comes as a representation of Fallout 4 mod. It's called like Mobile Home or something like that. And it's about an APC that you can use as a mobile base. That is the inspiration behind this. Raven was going to type something. Don't shut up.
Bang got 1.
Having fun in there?
Oh, hello, Sam and Jim, and yes.
That's good to hear. Hopefully we won't be having to use that for real anytime soon.
Oh.
I know it sounds like fun, but we'd rather there not be something come into this town so big that we'll need to use it.
Oh, okay.
Is there anything y'all would like to do today to kill time before that town meeting?
I will throw out to the group here some ideas, just to kind of fill the air here for a second. That if Raven, as always, with your foraging skills, the town is always in need of more food, whether that's working the farm over there or going outside looking for other supplies. You hunted last time, brought rat stag meat back. That's always a possibility. And going forward, if you choose to go out and do that and have a success with it, there will be some caps involved for you too, as well as having some rat stag meat for the road. Jim has sort of the ongoing quest of upgrading the radio system for the APC so that it can send signal as well as receive it, which it already is able to do. There is a little bit of time today if people want to devote to fixing up the dock over there. There's some ability to fix the warehouse. They had got the main structure of it up yesterday and are just moving in supplies today. You might have already seen some people milling about, going up and down the street. It's sort of a balmy, muggy sort of morning, as always in this region. It's just more humid in the cool Appalachian fall air, if anything else. It's got that kind of foggy morning to it, as you always get in these parts. So there's, again, the ability to help with those buildings, and maybe some caps in that too. There is the post office of last time. You guys had gotten into the first room of it and found the door in the back was locked. And didn't go any further. It was already nighttime, and I think you guys were fairly well traveled out. There was not any of that banging in the background, though, when you had gone in there. You'd heard something about sort of noises coming from there, but when you got in the front, no sounds were really audible at the time. And then also, I don't really know that anyone has... I think they've just mentioned it in passing that there's a water treatment facility down the street. Just a little ways. It's sort of outside their old barricade wall, but if it's something you want to check out, that's also an option today as well. It's about probably 10 a.m., so you got about 2 hours to kill if you want.
Mr. Sam, where there are army men in suits that walk around before the big boom. Do you think we should search that building?
Oh, you must be talking about power armor. Yeah, there most definitely was. It sure was a sight to see. I'm surprised you haven't come across it in the Wasteland yet, but, you know, it is getting rarer and rarer as the years go by. It might be possible. I'd find it unlikely unless someone was shipping it off via the United States mail, but you never know how bad things got right before the war started.
Yeah, I would like to find one someday.
You and me both. That would certainly turn the tables for us on a lot of things.
More kabooms.
And
okay.
being able to survive kabooms.
I was going to offer up if you are interested in like finding power armor generally, if that's something the group here is thinking about, I would offer up the ability for you guys to do some sort of check, some sort of knowledge check that you could get some ideas in advance of that meeting today and maybe bring that to the table as a future plan. And let me see what that could be under. We don't really have a great like insight check in this game per se that matches this kind of thing, but I think survival coupled with intelligence would be probably a really good one when it comes to knowing that. I think perception as well. Survival and perception's a good one. So I think if people want to do any of those sort of checks, you could do one of the scaled ones. Actually, I would just say it's a 1 difficulty, honestly, to get some insight on this. How much you get might be guaranteed by how high you roll, if anyone wants to at all. But sort of to see how much your characters might know about finding stuff like that.
Raven, you've traveled, a lot around this area. Is there, anything to your knowledge about where something like that may be? Can you think about it? Could you maybe even ask the Mothman?
I have only seen pic of them on walls, but I could ask him.
Stranger things have happened. In the meantime, while you're working on that, would you like to explore the post office, everyone, or we can finish that up?
Yeah, I'd like to see what's maybe back there.
You guys can go for it by all means. If that's the group's intention, then you go on meandering down the path. You see a bunch of people out this morning. Folks are walking around, especially as you're walking past that building right there, which is right above you. That one sort of fogged out on the map. People are you see guys hauling in barrels and crates. Actually, mostly from the church, too. So, as some might remember in the town, the church was serving as the kind of main storage depot, to which was a little bit of a disadvantage for them because it's right on the water, and Mirelurks were coming in there, and it was a very big concern. Now they're off moving it to this different building, not terribly far distant from the water, as you can see, but it is not all isolated in one building. So as you maybe say some greetings and good mornings to them and meander in, you open up that door and you're presented with a rather stale post office. You see some arrows on the ground leading people around like what would be one of the red tape sort of lines, red ribbon sort of things. You see a counter with 2 cash registers. There's the astoundingly awesome tales on there. You might have grabbed that last week. I can't remember. Clipboard, phone, newspaper. And it's got one of those fold-up style countertops that let you hop around the counter, go underneath of it, sort of. You can see that there's a door that goes further into the back of the facility, probably marked with a staff only. And right next to the cash register on the most east side of the map here, you see a blue door that probably goes off into a little bit of office space there, something like that you expect. It's a smaller, less industrial door, but more like office door. What would you guys like to do? Oh, by the way, as you're getting in there, I do want a perception check from somebody here. Raven, if you want to go ahead and lead that survival perception. This to hear, you heard rumor from the people around that there was some sort of like banging that comes from this place. And also, I think it's worth saying while you're organizing that check for yourself, I think you just rolled it right there. Just as a reminder, this is sort of past what the old barricade was as well. The old part of town, just days ago, sort of ended at the building you were sleeping in. Your dorms were kind of the last wall, if you will, like where your head was on those beds. That was sort of the most exterior to town. Now you're just a little bit beyond that as the town inches out further and further. Raven rolled a 3 on that check, and she says, I pray to the Mothman while I'm walking along. So she's saying that prayer, and as she's going closer and closer to the building, Raven, you do, while you're outside of it, hear a loud bang. And at first you think, maybe even Sam and Jim, for the sake of it, might think that that's people carrying some crates into that other building. But with your great attuned senses, Raven, you actually get the kind of insight that it might be coming. Where did my map go? It might be something back sort of here. You're hearing it, a sort of sound that's echoing out and reverberating. And as you guys go in the front door, though, I think you'd pick up on that sound coming from inside the building as well. Loud bang, but it happens every once in a while. Not time like a regular electronic or hydraulic or something that might be doing it on schedule, but this occasional bang and a shuffle. Louder as you get inside.
You guys hear that too?
Yeah, that's
I
not
think
the
so.
that's not the guys back there, is it?
I'm not sure. Maybe we should just stay frosty in case. Keep your eyes peeled.
All right.
It sound like from this place.
I'll take point if you want me to. I'll
Yeah, that's good.
I'll pull out my combat shotgun. Jim, this feels like one of them old game shows. Are you feeling the blue door or the red door?
Well,
Could be a death claw.
red is always evil, so let's go blue.
All right, let's check this first. I go to jiggle the door handle, see if it opens.
Yeah, it's open. And as Sam goes forward, you see it's got another fairly basic hallway to it. One office door on your left, one office door on your right, and I'll say it's sort of an exterior facing door. It's one of the ones that's got the window slats in it with kind of a little metal grid through it there. So you can see out from that, Sam. You see the red door that your character icon's sort of sitting on. You can see that one goes to the exterior of the building, a little alleyway there. There's a dumpster out back and such like that. Pretty pointlessy, sort of odd feeling hallway. Probably some like mop and other random accoutrements at the end of the hall here. Little like cleaning supplies that aren't better placed, but otherwise a dead end. Which does lead you to the blue door, which is labeled manager over top. Or postmaster, maybe is more appropriate to say.
I kind of check the red door real quick just to see if it opens.
The red door has those push bars to it. So from the interior, yes, that one opens up if you're interested. You can push it from the inside. However, you get the idea that if it closes behind you, it's probably locked again. You'll have a hard time getting in from that door.
I exclaim, well, looks like we got an easy escape plan. If it comes down to it, let's see what is behind door number 2. As I check this door.
In the very same fashion, squeak. You go on in. It's a very, small office, sort of. I mean, for what it is in a post office, quite spacious enough for one postmaster. There is a terminal in the corner, which looks to be at a locked screen, and unfortunately, a body in the center of the room with a pistol in hand, implying our postmaster may have met a less than timely and appropriate end.
Well, I don't need to do a full autopsy to know what happened to this poor fella.
Did they?
Wow. What do you think happened? I mean,
If I had to guess, I'd say as soon as he got the news that things were going down, he decided to make his own peace and not let the Reds get him.
well, I mean, all that time ago, that old house we investigated. You remember that guy? He offed himself too, and probably in the same reason.
Yeah, same sad story wherever you go around here, it seems. I've seen this 1 or 2 times.
Poor
Well-
fellow, may the Mothman watch over him.
Well, I hate to kind of be disrespectful of the grave here, so to speak, but I'm gonna take a look at this computer and see what I can find.
Most definitely. And to be honest with you, I'm gonna check around, maybe check his gun and his ammunition, see if there's anything left. He won't be needing it anymore.
Help a GM know what gun is that exactly in Fallout? I'm not a pistol man. I think it's the generic one.
Yeah, I think it's a 10 millimeter.
There you go. Okay, 10 millimeter pistol on him. You can have that for your inventory for sales or otherwise. And you find a full box of ammunition on that, so 10 millimeter ammo. And if you want to roll on that now, we could just do that as well. Let me see what those numbers are for it. It is 8 plus 4 combat dice. So roll up those combat dice and let's see what the amount is for you. 4 combat dice. So 3 extra rounds. So 8 plus 3, 9, 10, 11 rounds of ammo for you, Sam. If you're grabbing that, you can put that into your inventory. And as for you, Jim, sitting down over there, you can start on a hacking test for that, which would be your science and intelligence. This is a difficulty 1 lock on the terminal. While he's doing that for a second, too, I just want to let you know, if Sam or Raven is planning on searching the room, you can roll the survival and perception test as well if you want to loot his body and other things. Jim.
I search for anything useful too.
Jim masterfully goes to work over there and easily gets to hack and cracks this code very quickly. And you're into the system. At the same time, you got Sam and Raven kind of leafing through things. Sam grabbing ammo, and Jim is in. So, Jim, what are you looking for now that you are on the computer and hacked into it?
More like operational procedures, any sort of like, if there's any sort of like security releases or any sort of like safe opening commands or anything of that sort.
Ooh, that's a really good one. That's a good answer to that question. You do see a couple options of interest to you. One implies that there is a safe in this room, probably a floor safe. Let's go ahead and say that there's a floor safe actually it's probably right where Sam's character is, like under the desk right back there is probably where it is. Let's say it's underneath the box on the map. Sorry, I'm moving you, Sam. But underneath that on the floor of the desk, there's a floor safe, and that would open that. You also see an option to release or open up the bay doors for the building. That would be in relation to loading mail trucks. So you can presume that on the other side of the building, and you'd probably all know this from your travels around America, that there are fairly similar mail buildings. You know what to expect from a post office. There's going to be a place for that, mail sorting and deliveries and the rest. So, and I would say attached to that separately, though, you can unlock the other exterior doors from that console as well. It just sort of has a, maybe sort of like a master control for the building in there. So sort of 3 options for you immediately in relation to that. Safe, bay door, exterior all.
I'd like to check out that safe.
Go for it. You can go ahead and spring that right now. And let's see if you want to look through it. This is going to be...
I hear like the hiss open up right below me, and it kind of startles me a bit, because I wasn't really paying attention to what he was doing on the computer, so I take a step back a little bit.
Pardon me just one second here as I grab you a list of things. Okay, so you open that. Who's reaching into it first? Is that Sam because he's closest, or is Jim kind of moving him out of the way, or who's reaching in?
That'd be Sam.
Sam, upon opening or sliding off the topper to that safe, you see 1 bottle of rum. Unfortunately, the guy never got a chance to drink it before his untimely end. you see pre-war money that's worth about 6 caps. So if you just want to directly translate that into caps, you're more than welcome to. There are a couple of bobby pins in there as well, if you want to add those. Let's say it's 6 plus 3 combat dice if you want to re-roll those.
Three, right?
Yeah, 3 combat dice. Oh, zeros, huh? So you get six bobby pins out of there. And I think the most exciting thing you find in it is a thing of Med-X, which, for those that don't know, Med-X was a potent opiate analgesic, which significantly reduces both the perception of pain and natural emotional responses to pain. So, powerful painkiller. Maybe something to help with the job on tough days.
I pull out the bottle and I kind of chuckle to myself and say, "Oh man, he didn't even have the chance to crack this open." And I ask my fellow comrades if they want to take a partake real quick with me for the guy. Cheers for him.
Sure.
Well, I could never say no to a drink.
All right, I pass the bottle all around and then finally pour out a little bit on the ground for our fallen postmaster here. For they were the strong workers of the world before it all collapsed.
Mm.
And as you're doing that, did anyone search the body in particular? I know there was the grabbing of the gun.
Yuck, that burns you strange. One, Sam.
I just wanted to add that whoever did search the body, there is an ID badge from this fellow. Harrison Whitmore was the name of this post office. Senior mail processing coordinator and postmaster. Fancy dude. DK, also on the terminal, you'd probably find some personnel records there too if you're interested in any of that. Some also delivery schedules as well. But one of the first things you find is a bit of the staff that was working in this building. You got Martha. You have here, this was Harrison. There is a Marcus in here. But you know what? When you see Marcus, oddly enough, there is a termination notice listed here for Marcus. And maybe that person was already gotten rid of or not before the bombs fell. They listed here neither rain nor shine Marcus Miller. There's a little note attached to his personnel file that says dedicated worker, maybe a little bit too dedicated, hard to get him onto a different track before he gets caught up. He's sort of requires extra supervision in that way. You can see some delivery logs and notices, also some complaints in here too, things that had gotten missing along the way and the rest. So just some basic information at this time.
Would there happen to be any information on the delivery routes?
Yeah, there's delivery schedules. There's pickup and delivery schedules for first of all, the collection around the town, giving time of day that around 5 p.m. they clean out these post office boxes that are around the city between the hours of 4 and 5. About it's not a huge place. I should call it more of a town than a city, but you can see there's boxes out front when you'd passed walking in. There are delivery routes and labels. They had about 2 people doing deliveries for Hope itself. That includes the outlying regions from it as well. As we've talked about before, these roads kind of go out in both directions. This road that we're looking at still on the screen is just a reminder. We are facing, like the top of our screen is facing west. So if you're to exit this building and go to the right, you're going north. If you go out and exit to the left, you're going south. So just a little bit of information, splitting the routes. It's basically split down Main Street and, goes one way and the other.
Well, I was thinking, guys, if we ever have the chance, we should go and hunt down one of the trucks that had come through here, and maybe we could scavenge it for some useful items.
That sounds like a really good idea. Sounds like a plan.
But that's not, a pressing matter. I mean, we have more important things to do. But if we ever get the chance, just by having some free time, we could definitely go and hunt that down.
That sounds like a good plan. Let me ask you something though, Jim.
Yeah.
Is there anything on there? Is there any way you can see if anyone has been receiving anything from vault-tec?
Hmm. Well, if there is, it would be locked behind an administrator's thing, because I'd imagine you can't just have your normal average low level employee looking at company transactions, just so freely. I'm sure there's a way to get through it, but I'd have to crack into it and try to break the passcode.
That if we can get it figured out, I don't think it'd be terrible if we could try to jot down some names, see if anyone got access to a vault, see if we can get any addresses of anyone who got access to a vault, and maybe investigate and maybe find ourselves a vault. And
Vault-tec, is that where that lady we meet lived?
yes, it is. And if we can get ourselves inside of a vault, we might be able to investigate this pink stuff problem a little bit further, and maybe even use some of their facilities that they have. Maybe they'd be inclined to share if we trade with them.
Yeah. I'll have to give that a look-see right now. But if you want, while I do this, you go ahead and look at that other room that we passed by.
All right. We'll check it out. You stay safe and let us know if you see anything.
So as that's happening, just a brief above the table to remind DK. To that point, you could try and hack further into these administrative files here. You have a rare book in your inventory. We discussed it last time, and I'm going to forget the name of it. But you got one of the rare books that allows you, I believe, the chance to lower the difficulty of these tests. And Kyle's got to go look it up again because he's really bad at placing the information for that. But if this is one of the books that when you read it, you can absorb it for a perk that you can take at your next level up. I think I'm close to it. Maybe not. I'll do it a little bit later, figure that out.
It was a Programmer's Digest of sorts. I can't remember the name.
You're right. I think that's actually the real formal name of it too. Bless you for your brains. Let's see. Search Digest. Kyle, the brainless man here, has not put that into the notes, which is kind of important. Digest. I'm not finding it.
Yep, that's here.
Programmer's Digest?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't put it into my grid, though. That sucks. Anyway. I'll pull it up at some point here. I did want to call out that as you're having that brief discussion in the room, you do hear a bang and a clank that what sounds maybe at this stage like you're close enough to hear boxes falling over in that other room behind the doors that you kind of couldn't get past last time. I don't know if someone's gone up to try them again today, but it looks like Raven being up there, you try and push through that double door and it kind of rattles like it's stuck.
The door seems stuck, Sam.
I have an idea. I saw Jim looking at something on the computer, and I go to this door and kind of crack it open, and I look. Is there like a rock or something around me? I look for a small rock, that I can kind of prop the door open with, and I walk around to the back here. I see there's a fence, so I may have to try to hop this fence.
It's not too hard of a fence there, Sam. I think you can get your way over that as long as you're feeling spry today. Nothing major.
All right. Clear over the fence, And I come around to check out the back because I remember seeing something about the loading doors.
That's right. And so Sam down here is now partaking in this lovely collapsing sort of disheveled parking lot. Some cars still parked there. Maybe people that were doing their jobs, maybe one of those belongs to old Harrison there. But you are right. There is a double door back here, and I don't know if anyone had popped that open. I'm not sure if Jim had gone ahead and done that. But if either of you, if you're interested in telling him to do it, he can, by all means.
I kind of yell out to Jim because I'm guessing he might be able to hear me. There's a couple doors propped open.
Yeah.
So I'm like, hey Jim, go ahead and open that. Go ahead and open those the loading bay doors if you can, and I will.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right. I'll do that.
And I don't know if I can do this out of combat, but I want to see if I can use like the prepare action. with my shotgun and just kind of like get ready if there's anything in there, just have my shotgun pointed through those doors.
Yeah, that is perfectly okay. Give me just 1 second here. Ba-doo. Yeah, you go ahead.
A cute little mini car, Sam.
Raven's over there looking at cars. Oops.
Let me specify. If there's anything hostile behind the door, I will pull the trigger and shoot.
Sure. Okay. Well, as you go ahead to do that, Sam, you yell it to Jim. Jim relays the message to the computer. He backs out of some of the files he's in and goes to that screen, press the button, and you hear some sort of hydraulic-y interlocking. Maybe it's a mag lock, whatever it is on this. You hear a decoupling sound, and those two doors begin to, on their own, sort of move out, sort of towards you, like they're hatch-style doors there. And you are presented with the interior of this space, which I will delete the fog in just 1 second. Here we go. Whoop. You can see in, at least this area of the room is bright with the light from outside shining in. And as you do this, you hear and you hear more boxes collapse in what's probably coming from the back left corner of this room. You looking in from the outside with your gun, it is a bit hard to see what's going on in there just yet.
I turn to Raven and I say, Raven, you still got your flashlight?
Yes.
All right. When you turn it on, let's take it slow in here.
Also, what did Raven roll? Sorry, what was that one? I almost missed this, Raven. What did you roll the survival and perception where you got a 20 on that? What was that in relation to?
That was for looting that room. I was going to ask you if I could assist her on that as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's go ahead and take care of the looting in a little bit. I'll sort of remember that. We'll talk about loot in just a second here. So, Sam, you're taking point. Raven, are you with them? I still see you over there on the fence, just a heads up. I don't know if you moved your icon or not, but we got Sam heading in first with the shotgun. Sam, you lead. I'll follow you with the map. So as he goes in, taking it careful and slow, you see mail spilled out upon the floor, letters covering the ground. You see some boxes that are open. There's packing peanuts. There's sort of the plasticky wrap around some. Some are a little bit more old-fashioned. They're bound up with twine instead, sort of maybe a local habit and all the rest. And as you're going through sort of aisle by aisle here and shining your light, why don't we go ahead? This is going to be a difficulty 2 survival perception. And if Raven, Sam, you're in the lead, right? If you're leading the pack, I think you should lead it, and Raven could follow you with it, based on how you're both set up here. Oof, 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 oof. Okay, fair enough. And Raven gets a success. Okay. So with that, Sam, you're headed down an aisleway there, and you kind of see really next to nothing. Raven, I'm going to say you're choosing to go a little bit further in after you read that one as well. If it's okay with you, I'm actually going to scooch you up a little bit so you two are kind of going a little bit in opposite directions here. Raven, as you're heading down your aisleway here, you see at the very end the outline of a figure who is sort of hidden behind some crates in the corner. You can tell pretty quickly that this looks to be a ghoul who's wearing some post office garb. They are hiding and sort of holding up a box in front of them. And about this time, we also have Sam, who's kind of cleared that area and maybe turned his flashlight in that direction. Let's see why the map's not reflecting with our guy there. There is a ghoul on my screen.
Sam, there's someone here look like ghoul, not sure if like Rusty.
Just be ready, Raven. I'm going to try to talk to him. Sir, are you okay?
Sam, you can try and roll a speech check on this here. What you gather initially from seeing him is, again, post office attire. He's got the uniform on, and again, he's got his hands on a box, and he's whipping it out, his eyes back and forth to you and to Raven. And what do you ask him again? If he's okay?
Yes, sir. Are you okay? Are you feeling all right?
And he takes that box and he sits it up on the shelf that's near him, to which it promptly falls through and onto the ground. Ah!
Odd.
Raven, I don't think this fella has all his screws in his head, unfortunately.
What's your approach with this guy?
But he don't seem mean.
I know, but we either let him sit in here and suffer for God knows how long, or we put him out of his misery and let him rest.
As you're saying that, I know earlier one person had noticed the name tag on the previous person. I think it might be Raven with her eyes at this distance. Raven, you would see this as Marcus. This was the man who was considered overly dedicated in the log there. The one who was about to be terminated for his over dedication to the job. And as you can see by what you're gathering here, looking at the sort of disheveled space yet oddly organized at the same time, Raven, you get the idea that Marcus here may have been sorting mail for the last, potentially 25 years. Some boxes destroyed, others unopened. Again, mail strewn around.
Hold on, Sam. Maybe we help put box on shelf. I think his name is Mark.
If you'd like to go ahead and help him, by all means.
I found his name tag.
But, I mean, from the looks of it, it looks like our friend Mark hasn't gotten a break since the bombs dropped, and I think he's well past due for retirement.
Raven, you went to help him with the box, is that right? Raven walks over to put the box on the shelf, picking up the box that had just fallen through from Marcus. And in fact, Mac, you have the ability here, seeing that there's sort of a fallen in portion of the shelving unit here that he keeps trying to reuse. You very quickly flip that board back up where it belongs, and within just a moment, you hoist up that box and put it on the shelf, and now being stable and placed there well, Marcus looks at you very quickly, that quick ghoul kind of reflex, and you see his eyes kind of light up, if you will, and Marcus kind of quickly runs towards your direction, Raven. At first, maybe almost a little bit alarmed that he's coming at you. Instead, Marcus reaches for a box, pulls it off the shelf, and hands it to you.
Thanks.
And if you're interested in opening that box from Marcus, you'd be able to do so. She's going to go ahead and look inside. Oops, what did that just do? That was crazy. Oh, what do we got in here? You open that box, and it is looks like a goodie package for somebody. There are 2 bags of potato crisps in there, a holotape, and a holotape player. To the observant eye, this actually looks like it was destined for Vault-tec University. Speaking to the question that was asked earlier. So 2 potato crisps.
Look, Sam, food and whatever this is.
Let me take a look at it, and I take the player and the tape, and I see if I can play it.
Yeah, you can use the holotape player. You, Sam, steadily go ahead, plug in that tape. It makes the typical click and sound as you hear the sound of a woman's voice, warm and sort of welcoming, as she says, "Hi, sweetie, it's your dad and I. We wanted to send you a holotape player of your very own so you don't have to rely on using anything down there at the computer labs, or I don't know if they've given you any of those Pip-Boys at the university. I know we can't get our hands on anything like that ourselves, but we're able to record this and just wanted to send it to you. Maybe we can correspond like this. It's a little bit more like being at home than just a dry old note we send you in the mail. I hope these crisps will keep you happy and healthy in the season. I know you got some exams coming up. We hope to see you later in the year. I know Halloween's close, one of your favorite times of the year. We'll sure be thinking of you, and if we don't see you before then or around that time, I guess we'll see you around for Thanksgiving. Well, now that you have this, feel free to drop us a line. I'm sure you can get a hold of extra tapes there if you want, or if you really need to, you could write over this one. Wouldn't mind doing that back and forth, but I think they might degrade a little faster that way. I don't know. Your father sends all his love, and I do too. Talk to you next time. Tape winds.
Upon hearing this, Sam kind of slinks back onto the wall, kind of knees buckling a little bit, as he remembers someone he hasn't remembered, he thought about in a long time. He thinks about, his younger sister, who at about the time that this was recorded, should have been going to university. She probably could have even gotten into Vault-tec University with how smart she was, but he was concerned with his own life at the time and was doing his own thing. And after the bombs drop, it just hasn't crossed his mind for a very long time until this moment, and it kind of all washes over him.
Sam, you okay? You look pale.
Upon hearing Raven say that, I kind of come to grips with reality again, and kind of wipe away my face and everything, and just kind of get back to it. And I tell her, it's all right. It's all right. It's just poor kid, poor family. And I leave the tape, but I bring the player with me.
Sam, you get a luck point restored for your reminiscence. And I'm not sure if either or both of you would notice, but in about the time that this was happening, after Marcus handed Raven that, and you guys took a listen, Marcus is headed outside carrying a box. Actually, more like 3 boxes stacked on top of each other. He's heading out there, maybe looking for a mail truck. I feel like this could be a good time to do a brief check-in on Jim up there. Jim, sorry to leave you hanging on your own. What are you up to? You were about to maybe hack in further.
Yes, I was looking into getting through to this administration portal.
You want to go ahead and roll? It would be, we'll just say the difficulty steps up 1 notch there. And also, pardon me 1 second before you do that, because I did dig out the rules. For the Programmer's Digest, this is completely your choice, but if you choose to use this book or magazine, you use it when you fail a science test to hack into a terminal. When you'd otherwise be locked out, you may choose not to be, allowing you to make another attempt. If you learn this perk, you may do it whenever you're locked out of a computer. So this is something we're going to be really flexible with how he uses this, because I'm not going to do one of those things where it's like, well, you didn't fail a test or whatever. We can do this in a way that maybe, just to flavor this as an example, but if Jim does get locked out of this terminal or any other, he could consult this book at least that one time for extra advice and such to get through a terminal. And again, whenever that time is that you use that book, that perk will then be available to take upon your next level up as a permanent addition to your character, making you quite an efficient hacker. So you're welcome to ignore that book for now if you'd like and just try and get into this. It'll be a level 2 difficulty.
Okay.
And that's science and intelligence there. Well, with 1 success, you're going at it, you're typing away, but error. Not enough to get through that one. Now, this is where the book comes into play, that you could use that for another attempt, or you could always use a luck point of your own to re-roll the one that did not cross the finish line, that 18 there.
I'll spend a luck, yeah.
Sure, go ahead and use a luck point. You can re-roll that 18. As long as under an 11. Come on, Lucky. Whoa-ha! Exactly an 11. So with that, Jim is able to get into the higher restricted files. This is now looking at, you're looking for addresses, right? Things related to invitations to vaults, other sort of correspondence from vault-tec, things like that. Is that right?
Yes.
Doesn't take you too much sifting. vault-tec, very large company at the time, very, very well established throughout the region, actually across the whole country. You pick up on sort of a search option there where you can kind of filter by sender receiver, and you do see some letters, various ones. You can see some of these are sort of vault-tec university letters. There's quite a lot of those back and forth, meaning there's a lot of campus mail that gets sent out to prospective students, to returning students, to even the alumni they want to hassle for money, I'm sure. And then you also see a bunch of correspondence that's simply going to the campus and being routed through the campus. You see other vault-tec letters that seem to go out to some of the more kind of affluent areas, and you can kind of just gather where those places might be based on some of the postal coding in there. You're not new to the Appalachia region right now, and kind of get a good idea of what's what. Some of it, I'm sure you have no idea about, but yeah, there's definitely some heads or tails in here that could be chased in different directions. If you're looking for anything in particular right this second, you can let me know. Or otherwise, we could simply say that Jim has a lead for things in the future, but I'm open to anything.
Well, I was trying to figure out if there was any addresses to people who were either in the vault or were offered access to a vault.
You probably wouldn't get that information from this terminal. The best you'd be able to gather would be where the correspondence is coming from or going to. So there would not be copies of the letters in here per se, but you'd see things that, like, considering there's such a large company, there's probably like mass mailing registrars there as well, like lists, that lots of people are getting mail. You get some maybe places in town. There'd be some houses around here that had gotten letters like that. But what the letters contain, a little bit of a different story. I think in the future, though, Jim might be able to scratch down some addresses into like a notebook or something like that for some places to pursue.
Okay.
I will also say, based on the time of all of this, you probably eaten through maybe about an hour's worth of time here. Maybe, I think that's probably pretty fair. Opening doors, going around, taking it fairly slow at points. So just to give a heads up that you probably got about, we'll say if you want to get there in time for the meeting, just a little bit less than an hour. If you want to keep poking around here, keep talking to Marcus, keep looking through the systems, or continue looting things. In fact, as we jump back to, well, Jim, you can decide what you want to do if you want to keep poking through stuff. At the same time that you're doing this, though, I think Raven and Sam hear some boxes drop in the parking lot as good old Marcus comes back in to grab a couple more.
Hey, where is he going, Sam? I think he working like an old life.
This is fascinating. I really think maybe we should tell someone about this. Not to, instantly put old Marcus here to work, but he seems pretty happy to do it, and maybe he could be of use to the town.
Did we make new buddy?
Perhaps.
Sam, he thrusts a box in your direction here, and this one's a rather heavy sort of box. It's one of those cardboard boxes that's sort of reinforced and has I don't know. You think there might be some interesting stuff within it. How do I describe it? Yeah, you can just tell this exterior is just very well sealed up.
As he hands the box to me, I grab it. It kind of falls down a little bit, just because I didn't expect him to even be able to carry something that heavy. So I turn and I set it down on this table here and get a knife and kind of open it up to see what's inside.
As you open it, you find that there's a couple smaller boxes within. As you start cutting those open as well, you find that this is an ammo supply cache sort of set up wherever they were sending this to. This has some 38 ammo in there. If you want to roll 5 combat dice to see how much of 38 you get. 0.38, sorry, I don't know how to speak. So that's, 10 plus however many dice, which you just got 4 on. So that looks like 14 ammo from that for 38. 10 plus, yeah. Let's see, I'm not happy with this auto roll thing. Give me some good stuff. Oh, oddly enough, maybe adding a little bit to the weight here, you find some flamer fuel in here that would probably go to, well, it could go to a Mr. Handy, or it could go to Raven, who just happened to get a flamer the other day. This would be 12 fuel plus 6 combat dice if you want to go ahead and roll that up. Ooh, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, what did I say? 10 plus 6 will do. We'll do that. 10 plus 6 on that. I scooted away from it, so I don't know if it was 10 at the base, but we're doing it. 10 plus 6.
I
Yeah.
I go ahead and hand it off to Raven. I say, here you go, Raven. Look at this for your shiny new fire stick.
Hell yeah. By the way, let me make sure that we're getting this written down.
Fire.
So, Mac, you get 16 flamer fuel. And I think we just had 14 for the one above it. So 14.3, 38. Okay. And as you're getting to the end of the box here, you see one laser musket in there. And there's accompanying ammo for it, too. So let me just check my notes. Laser musket, of course, uses fusion cell ammo, which has how much? 14 plus 7 combat dice. So 7 combat dice, please. Ooh! 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. I think I got 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Yes. Which puts that number at what? 23, I think? And those are Kyle knows Fallout. Kyle knows Fallout. Those are fusion cell ammo. Right. Fusion cell ammo. So yeah, that was a heck of a heavy box, probably because there was flamer fuel and a full-on laser musket in there. It seems whoever this one was going off to, somebody had ordered some supplies for maybe fending off that commie invasion. I don't know.
I pull out the laser musket and I go, look at this antique. And I say, Raven, check this out. Kind of show it off to her and show her how it works. And I show her there's like a hand crank that I bet that she'll love. All you got to do is twist it up and then shoot.
Oh, neat, me want it.
By all means, take it.
So with that little discovery, it seems Marcus might be earning his keep after all. Rain nor shine, Marcus, still working in the afterlife, sorting mail. And from what you all gather in this room, Marcus may very well be a useful sort of asset in your future, as Sam may have mentioned a few moments ago. He seems contented to keep doing his job, and I think you might be able to use him if you can get some higher charisma check sort of situations going on with him. Marcus might be able to help you guys find some interesting pieces of kit in this room, especially over time. And maybe if you can figure out some way to direct him to any of that. Maybe some sort of protocols, or, for example, if you could maybe figure out a way to request specific labels or things like that from him. Just to give kind of ideas. Maybe if you sort of pursue that idea of vault-tec or maybe wast-tec or sort of any of the big players, if you were to kind of ask Marcus for any of that sort of mail that might be stashed here over time, he might be able to fetch some of that for you.
I take all those thoughts into my head and collect them. And now that Marcus is kind of open and around and kind of walking around, I figure that he needs some protection. So I take one of these empty cardboard boxes and I cut it up and I make a little sign that says something along the lines of, "Hello, my name is Marcus. Please don't hurt me. I'm friendly. I deliver mail," with an exclamation point. And I find maybe twine, rope, tape, whatever I can,
Sure.
that held up boxes back here, and I put it around his neck.
Marcus, as you go to do that, is just a little bit surprised as he doesn't resist you as you go ahead and place that around his neck. At best, it's a distraction from him reaching up for other boxes. They're slightly out of his reach. I think I'll also point out, for the sake of giving this room a little bit of scale, I think people at home maybe should also know that I do these maps as sort of representations of spaces more than concrete grid by grid sort of things. These buildings are just to get people's brains juices flowing. This room probably is a little larger than it looks on the screen, and I think that some of these the racks of boxes may go up a little bit higher, where one might need a ladder for some of the stuff, especially for part of the room that has undelivered packages. If we kind of look at the map in a little zoomed in detail, let me do that quickly. Even just for the loose idea of it, I've kind of made it so there's some empty boxes in the bottom left. Those might be things that got returned or otherwise were found to be damaged, and all the rest. There's an area of unsorted, undelivered mail, completely pristine in the original packaging, just waiting to have been put onto mail trucks and sent out. Kind of a mix of mail there. Some things that he's sort of damaged over the years, moving back and forth. As you saw with Raven, he was having a hard time getting one of those shelves to actually work for him. He's used to putting things on it, but not capable of dealing with the damage to it. You both would gather that there's probably a decent supply of goods in this room. And for any willing adventurer who wants to spend quite a bit of time unboxing, maybe a huge fortune from the pre-war era could be here, theoretically. Or a bunch of junk mail.
I kind of take in that there is a lot of mail back here and kind of pick through a little bit of it and just say, at the very least, we might have some kindling material in here, or maybe we can find some old birthday cards with some pre-war money.
And you could probably do that, actually. It wouldn't take, if Sam wants to go ahead and open up a couple things of mail, you probably do find some pre-war money, just as you said. Let me find what the roll is for that one. Pre-war money. What the heck is this roll? 5? 4d20 worth of caps. Okay, there you go. Sam, why don't you roll 4d20 then? 4d20, not combat dice, but d20s. Oh, math. Why did I do that? Like I was expecting it not to give math. So we got 18
40?
plus 16. Oops, sorry, I didn't even see that. Yes, 40. You got it. Sam Sky can math. 40 caps worth of pre-war money in there.
So years of retail work.
He's using his brain, folks. Using his brain. So at this stage, this is a little bit open to you. You've gone through, you've unboxed things. Your time is getting a little bit short for the meeting. So if anyone here sort of wants to regather or anything like that, Jim's still, I'm guessing, typing away at the computer. We haven't seen him come back through just yet. And Jim, if you want to be working on anything in particular, I'm all yours now. I'm guessing that Sam and Raven might be getting their shit together in the back room here, deciding what they're going to do next. Jim, is there anything you want to do right now, by the way?
Not in particular, no.
Well, maybe if you're interested, you could be the one to go wrangle the group, or they might come out and find you. I'll let you all decide if there's anything further you want to dig through here now, or if you want to go onwards to other things.
I'm going to take a step outside and spark up a gray tortoise while I'm waiting for everyone to rejoin for the meeting.
Hey, Mac, who is this?
Marcus runs over to you, Jim.
This Mark.
Is this someone we should worry about, or?
I hear Jim say, "Read the sign, buddy."
He nice.
Oh, well, hello.
And Jim, he takes off a box and hands it over to you as well.
He give gifts.
Jim, if you're interested in opening this package he gave to you,
Yes, I'll open.
you are met with a... You know what? I got it right here. You are met with a handy first aid box. And within that, you go ahead, you open that up, and you find one stim pack in there. You find I think it's a bottle's worth of Daddy-O. And maybe most surprising is that underneath of the first aid kit itself is 40 millimeter grenade rounds in there. Famous for being safe to ship in the mail. You find 2 + 1 combat dice worth. 1 combat dice, please.
All right.
Die. So you find 3 40 millimeter grenade rounds in there. And Marcus looks satisfied. Like he has done his job delivering mail to 3 people here. And he happily shambles off to go sort through more boxes.
I kind of smile, cigarette grip between my teeth, and I say, "See? He's a good guy."
Well, that's something you don't see often.
Can we keep him, Mr. Sam?
Yeah, I'd say so. He seems pretty friendly.
I wonder he eats.
Why don't you see if he eats some of those chips he got?
Raven, if you're going to feed him chips, why don't you go ahead and roll us I think we're just going to default down to like a speech and charisma for that, just as a little thing to see.
Hey, Mark, you want some chips?
You could roll your barter for it, too. Speech, barter, both are going to be dictated by charisma. Zero success. He does not partake in the chips. He eyes them very inquisitively as he twitches his head looking at them. He goes, "Ugh.
Maybe he would like to eat Jim.
Oh, whoa, hey, Mac.
Let's not test that theory.
No.
Let's leave him to his work. We're gonna miss his meeting.
Okay.
I decide to take the easy way this time and not hop the fence.
Fair enough. Let me also unveil some more of the map. Not that it's the most exciting thing in the world back there for you guys, pardon me, but you just kind of see that this is a little bit of a side street that goes around. You might remember that was the house that you'd met Alfred in over there. So let me just take this out for the chat and the audience too. That they're just back here. This is kind of a side street that probably loops up and around here somewhere. So you head on over to the church after a fairly well organized morning of mayhem, mischief, and adventure. You find, as you're going down that path here, let me get that more centered on the screen. You see your good friend Alfred out front of the church, greeting all kinds of townsfolk. There are a couple of the sort of militia-style guards for the town there. People just kind of overseeing and keeping the peace. Some of the police protectrons wind up and down the streets here, just keeping general surveillance over the area, keeping an eye out for any kind of Mirelurk activity or any kind of raiders or anything like that. As you get close, Alfred greets you, goes, hello everyone, it's lovely to see you. Oh, welcome in. And he's doing that to so many people that come by. There's a little bit of a crowd surrounding the APC there too. People who are coming through and are giving a look at it. And when I say people, these are kind of the other characters of town we don't get to interact with as much. But some of the construction workers, the farmers, the guards that man the barricade, we know a lot of the trader types like Terry and Tom and Lena, who were all attending the meeting today. You see, actually, Lena and Rusty are coming up together. And I don't think I have him on here, but our good friend Chuck, who you brought to town the other night, he's here as well. Let me see if I can find him. He might be called a merchant. Yes. Boo that he doesn't have a pretty picture, though. I can fix that now. I've learned how to do that. So where is he? He's just going to go on here as a token, maybe, so I don't forget him. There we go. Boy, Alchemy, you've been fighting me tonight. Thank you for letting me put him down. My goodness. So he's inside there as Rusty and Lena walk up. Alfred greets them. Oh, it's so good to see you, Master Lena. It's a lovely day. Oh, it's a perfect time for a meeting. I love a town hall meeting. Is there anything you all want to do as you go in there? I'll just also set this up because I'm seeing your characters in there. That if whoever's walking in, you do see it's kind of a crowded house at the moment. Probably a good 10 or so people are already crowded in there. The town has maybe 20 or so residents at this point. You got Tom up at the very front. There's sort of Hell's Bells standing off to the side, sort of manning the door to the supply room off to the side. And you see the mayor, Protectron, up there at the center, and he's sort of standing fairly idly behind Tom. On occasion, he says, "Greetings, everyone. Greetings. Welcome to town. I am the mayor." Who's doing what now as you go on into this room? Anyone doing anything in particular?
I kind of walk in and take my place at the side here. I noticed that pretty much everyone from town is in here, so it's if something were to go awry, it could really be dangerous. So I kind of post myself in front of this door. I imagine there might be like some stained glass window that I can kind of peer out of and just kind of observe everything both in the church and around it.
Yeah, that's a great point. And sort of to put Sam at ease a little bit. I don't know if this would be enough. But again, those other police protectrons are out doing sort of ambient scans of the area, keeping sort of general eyes on things. There are still some guards posted up in places like outside the cafeteria, outside of here. And but you are right. It's definitely a skeleton crew in the rest of town. Alfred, you can kind of gather, probably went around and hurried people together for this. And even he'll be inside joining you all probably shortly.
I sat in the back eating my chips.
Raven's over there crunching away. And Jim, what are you doing? What position do you take in a place like this?
I'm just sitting next to Raven, just waiting to get things in motion.
Lena comes up past you all. She's sort of shimmying her way through. Good to see y'all. Good morning. Great to have you here. Thanks for being here. She's talking to some other people. Hey, thanks. Jim, Sam, Raven. We got Rusty here with us. Alfred's out there. Hey, Alfred, can you get the rest of the people from the APC? Tell them that it's time to come in here. They can Google that piece of tech later. Maybe actually go out there and get us some antennas for it, too, if they got nothing better to do with their time. Pardon me, I'm going to make my way up to the front here. Take a seat. And she goes on and does so. And Rusty kind of just, gives you a hello, and he goes on with his way, too. As you all are sitting in here, like you kind of already acknowledged, this is a sort of a who's who, who's in town. Pardon me, didn't move him up here, but good old Terry comes in through. Maybe he was selling some things to people outside of the APC back there. Trying to hawk some wares to the people that are there. He greets you. Sam, great to see you. Hey, it's good to see you guys. Welcome. Good to have y'all. And he plops in and takes his seat. And unless anyone has anything urgent they want to throw my way, we'll just dive into the meeting because Tom quickly calls it to order. As Tom, he goes, "Hello, everyone. Welcome on in. Come on in. You can close the door whenever you're ready. We'll catch up our guards here and security afterwards. Some of them already know what we're going to be talking about today. For the people that are just new here, seeing him for the first time, I don't know how many of you. Chuck, I see you out there. This is our wonderful mayor. He is Protectron that some of our friends brought over to town. He's got some great programming. It's helping us organize some of these endeavors, and that's what we're going to go over today in a town hall fashion meeting. I want to go through some objectives we got here for the future, as well as, well, what all you need. I need to hear from you. I've been playing a little bit of de facto mayor of the town, collaborating with all of you, getting some feedback, but it's high time we all sit down together and see what's coming our way as a group. We got some of our friends in the back here, Sam, Jim, and Raven. You all have gotten to know them a little over the past week or so, 2 weeks. I guess it's maybe closer to a month now. But you got to meet them. They've done a hell of a job bringing back Hell's Bells, bringing back that APC you saw, and, well, bringing back supplies for our traders and for Jacob, who also is in the mix here. Jacob and his team are already sort of sitting down. Recently we've been building a couple more establishments here, getting our piece of town more secure, starting to spread out into other bits of the city. This wonderful team also helped us get this trade caravan put together, the outpost. We now finally got some friends coming up through, like Rusty Dusty Bones, and maybe that's one of the best places to start today's discussion. As you know, the majority of the people I just mentioned, we were out at the Red Rocket Station the last day or so getting supplies, and we had the chance to speak with some free radical raiders, specifically our friend Dusty here, along with Raven and Sam and Jim. They were over at the West Virginia lumber mill, and they were telling us reports that, I can't lie, boggled my mind a bit. It seems like we've met ourselves a group of raiders who are not bent on eating us, not interested in pillaging our wares, but raiders who actually might be interested in helping us settle on in. I believe it's those very same raiders that helped our friends get a hold of a fusion core to power that APC. Now that thing's a piece of kit we need to talk about next, and it might come from the story here. Dusty, you overheard those raiders talking about a salvage mission relating to a boat. Rusty, I'd like you to come up here and tell us a little bit more about that. Basically tell them what you've told me, and we can kind of talk this over as a group. We'll have time for people to give insight and comments in just a moment. So if you could, hold those. Just let Rusty get his piece out. And Rusty sort of steps up there. He goes, yeah, hi, everyone. Most of you have met me. You've seen my wares. If you haven't yet, come on over. I got things to sell you, the best things. But I got to tell you, when we were at the West Virginia lumber mill, Raven and I may have kind of sort of overheard a couple loose-lipped raiders talking about some haul gone wrong. For those that don't know, there was a raider encampment along the path, the highway from here down into Appalachia. Some of those boys have come to work over at my farm, which, by the way, if any of you are looking for extra work, you could do some extra hours there. We always need people to pull crops. But I digress. There were some raiders who were attacked, I guess slaughtered, mutilated, gutted like fish by Mothman cultists, no less. Their mission, as I gather, was to oversee and scavenge some sort of boat crashed up on the shore of the Ohio River. I've not seen it myself. I'm not much of a man for water, if I'm gonna be honest. It doesn't agree with my complexion, but I sure think a town like this could benefit from getting that crummy old dock, dilapidated old dock you've got, get that back in shape and consider some river travel. I've seen people milling around out of that vault, rebuilding this place, settlers in the area for the last, 3 or so years. And not a single one of them has used a damn boat. What are you people, hydrophobic? Oh, sorry, anyway, I am, so maybe I shouldn't judge. But we could use some serious connection in this area. Tom, you were telling me the Foundation wants to reopen the railroads. I say that's a hell of an ambitious idea because that requires steel and metal and pathing and smooth land. But if we get boat travel, well, the highway's already paved for us, so to speak. Just travel up and down here. And if you look out the windows behind us, you can even see the river a-flowing back there. So I'm just here to put it out on the table as your friendly merchant, as your friendly entrepreneur who knows all the routes in this region. This might set you up pretty nicely. That's all I gotta say for now, Tom. Now I'm gonna take my seat. I'll stay up here just an extra second in case there's questions from the audience. Anyone have any questions? This is to all of you if you have any questions.
No.
So we're thinking about sending the whole team after this. Perhaps most of the town.
I don't know if would your town be ready for that sort of endeavor? He kind of looks over to Tom for a little bit of guidance on that question. Tom goes, well, I don't know if we'd send the whole town. We got a lot of people here who probably shooting isn't their primary focus. So probably not everybody. But we don't have eyes on this location. We don't know if it's swarming with Mothmen. We don't know if there's 2 people. I don't really know much about what's ahead of us other than Rusty's report here and what Raven may have heard that it was enough Mothman cultists to take out part of, 2 groups of raider parties. So not nothing, but we do have the APC. We've got some Protectrons. We do have some soldiers here. Sam, you were going to say something.
That does lead me to my next question. Perhaps we send out a scouting party, get some eyes on this place, get an idea of what we're looking at, and then truly make plans from there. Because, it's not necessarily worth risking everything we built if we're not truly prepared for this.
Rusty says, well, that is why I handed Raven that flare gun. Raven, I hope you still have that. It was my thought that if you all are gonna do a sort of an assault on this location, that you should get some eyes on it first, and maybe you could have one of your scouts even relay some of that information back from a flare, telling them whether they should proceed or not. It's a hell of a bummer that you can't send signal from the APC, or we could do some regional coordinating through that radio system, but them's the ropes. Raven, you had, now I'm speaking above board, you had seen through some of the eyes of those Mothman people, potentially, supposedly. I don't know if that's something you want to share with the team or not, but you had a count on how many people you had seen in a sort of flashback style moment. Tom sort of leans forward and says, I really do think we have enough manpower and probably supplies to lead an assault on something like this. Rusty, do you think those raiders, or I'm sorry, the cultists that are there, you think they actually know of any of us yet? That's admittedly my biggest fear. If they were to know of us in this area, well, that could be bad news.
Yeah, my people are deadly. They don't have much high-tech guns that I recall from a few years back. Also, that group seemed to be around 20 or so from what I recall.
20 people? Oh, that's a hell of a lot of people. If that's the case, again, you guys have a tank out there, so I just ram it through and just blast them out. What's the problem with that? That's what I do.
Yeah, but we have Big Boom.
Yeah, she gets it. Just hit them with the cannon a few times until they don't get up.
Do we have a timeline on this? When were y'all thinking about the execution date?
I only heard the most minimal. The teams had been sent up there, and it was a bit of a fiasco. But from what we gather, those guys had some pretty intense vehicles last time we checked. So, yeah, I think the only clock we really have here is if we think that there's anything valuable enough upon a beached boat that the Mothman might take, or if we're afraid that the free radicals might get there first. If you're asking me, I think the free radicals are the biggest, maybe risk of the boat traveling off. We don't even know what shape it's in. It could be destroyed on the shore. All I heard is they were trying to pillage it. I want it. I would like to have that boat sail again. That, for those here that are the builder-minded folks, that could be a bit tricky, but we could definitely open communications and trade route to the West Virginia lumber mill with the boat. If we could set up some kind of mutual exchange, maybe if some of the people here or protectrons worked the lumber mill, we could put some of the milled lumber on the boats and ship it up this way. Build out the town better, build out the defenses better. Also, though, at the same time, we would be scavenging the boat that the free radicals had hoped for. So maybe we just don't tell them we did that. Plus, it's not like their claim is very good to it. They're dead. The ones that went.
Well,
Sign me Captain Rusty. I want to ride a boat too.
I like her.
I don't think it's a horrible idea either. Do you think you could give us 24, 48 hours max to get prepared? I would like to maybe train all the guns we have here, and maybe if anyone's willing to pick up an extra gun, maybe they can get trained as well.
Tom says, I think that's a great idea, Sam. Honestly, I think there's plenty of time for it. You, Hell's Bells, a couple of the other peoples that are a little more, Lena here, who's great with a shot. You could spend some time getting the crew together. I think I see Jim back there as well. Jim, you and the team as well could make some decisions with some of your robot friends you brought around town. Alfred here, I know, is quite overdue for some maintenance. And above board, I want to tell you all that Alfred has, as you're all level 7 here, Alfred has gotten to a point where you can pick some extra perks for him. So if we have a little bit of time at the end of this session tonight, we should do that, where you guys can take a look and decide if you want to upgrade him. This is just his natural level up process as a companion, but it'll bring some of his weapons stats and the rest in more of an equal level range to your own. I will also continue to say above board that the Fallout TTRPG makes companions this sort of very like secondary feeling character, and I as a GM don't love that as much. They kind of want your companions to be significantly weaker than the other people on the team. Maybe 25% strength is kind of what I get at a feel vibe, but I just like to do it like any old NPC in the game, give them their fair shot to shoot and kill, just like anyone else. So we're gonna level him up whenever we get the chance here, and I want you guys to have some input on that. So as Tom kind of says, you take him over, part of your training there, you can take him over to the robot workbench in my place and give him some much-needed overhauls. Talking about putting... I can't actually remember if you guys did it, but I think there was a discussion of attaching the cryolator to him as well in one of those arms. And pardon me, I totally spaced if we've already done it or not. But if we haven't, that would be an option that you could do it at that point, too. As Tom's kind of wrapping up what he's saying, the mayor scooches forward a bit and goes, "Boats are a wonderful way to travel the wasteland. It is dangerous to go alone. It is safe to stay in town. Boats, small vessels propelled on water by oars, sails, or engines, are an efficient way to transit materials across Appalachia." And Tom goes, sort of pats him on the back and goes, "Yeah, buddy, that is exactly how boats work. They are propelled on the water by engines. That's right." And he is right, though. It would be a safer way, maybe, for some travel. I mean, if we look at a map, and I'm going to go ahead and flip up the map here, maybe. Let's see if this is a nice thing to do. Tom kind of maybe unfurls a map up there for people to see. He goes, if we're able to start using the Ohio River here, that would open a hell of a lot of travel for us. We could make some good distance around these parts. Sorry. I can't. Oopsies. Yeah, here we go. Refresh this so other people can see it. Bloop. Okay, it's not showing for the people at home so well, but it's just the Appalachian map that you can see in the background anyway. Refresh multiple times. Alchemy doesn't like it. Anyway, it's just the river there. I don't know why it's moving everyone's icons around, but river there off to the side. It's the big one on the left of the map. And if you were to get in a boat and try and travel that, there is the Mothman location down there in Point Pleasant. Raven may have, as we've talked about before, some knowledge of that. But there's also some access, I think, that might especially be of interest from Tom's perspective, that there are areas that the rail line gets very close to the waterway down there. And he says, if Foundation's really thinking about trying to get rail lines operational, us being able to traverse the river, ship some supplies up and down, that'd be a hell of a benefit for us all. There's some real possibilities here, not to mention that further south down there, I guess I'm getting into point number 2 that we need to talk about, but down that way, there is a Poseidon energy facility. I know people in Appalachia are pretty eager to get power reestablished, as we're getting radio reestablished and navigation reestablished, as we're getting a vehicle for our town here. Well, I'm just thinking we might need some ways to power this stuff more permanently than relying on just a windmill and a small generator. I don't know if any of the folks out there have any thoughts on that matter, but it's just something I've been thinking of.
I think that this entire plan, if executed right, is pretty genius. Like you said, I mean, it can make traveling to and fro and even getting that Poseidon plant a breeze. If this is going to go well, we're going to need a few things from everyone, though. Jacob.
Yeah, Sam.
Do you think you could create a crash course on combat medicine, specifically? And I kind of gesture towards Raven to kind of pull out some of her arrows and knives and stuff. So specifically, sutures for wounds from arrows like this and blades like this.
Yeah, I we could put together a course like that, not a problem. Some crash triage. No worries.
Fantastic. And then Raven, if you can give us just anything about these guys, if you know anything, if you know any of their tactics, any of their ambush spots, their mother's names, their favorite color, whatever piece of information you can give on us that you think could be beneficial could certainly turn the tides of this. I know it might hurt to try to turn on, former comrades, but it seems that they left you behind long ago.
Raven is typing.
They mainly use melee and bows and some pipe weapons.
That's good to know. And just, take some time. Anything else you can think of that might be useful, we could certainly benefit from it.
And the werewood and hides too.
That is very true. I forgot the trader we met's name. The guy who helped us with the APC.
Oh, Chuck. He's there too, by the way. He's sitting right in front of you, actually.
Chuck.
Yeah. Hey.
I don't. I know that we've taken some looks at it and everything, but just I don't know if we can figure out anything with the APC or even with Mr. Handy. I know you're a little bit technologically inclined. My buddy Jim here is too. If we can all work together to try to figure out any upgrades we can make to old Alfred here. We got a cryolator arm for him, or if there's anything we can do to boost up the APC, that again could severely benefit us.
Well, I might. I'll be honest, I just know how some pre-war tech works. I don't know what I can do for upgrades, but maybe. I sort of don't have any of my kit with me. They sort of caught me without. I'm a trader without supplies, which he kind of looks over to Rusty a bit. This makes me feel a little inadequate here. I'm not exactly sure what I can offer this lovely little town of Hope, but I didn't even know this place existed until I ran into you folks. A life-saving encounter at that.
Well, if we could help you get your kit, or if we could figure out something, if we could make some deals with Rusty, by any means, maybe we could find some stuff. But we'll keep that on the back burner.
Well, if you're all planning on assaulting that facility, I mean, maybe I could do some light scouting around town. I hear you're all a little bit nervous about going up north a bit, so maybe I could fiddle around up there and then see what's what. Maybe there's some extra goodies that could be looted, and I could bring back some intel on that. But as for bag of tricks and upgrading an APC, I don't know that I've got anything in that regard. did you all check how much ammo you have in there?
It is true. We could probably give it a look-see, do a count, and who knows what's up north. Maybe you might find something good.
And Lena pipes in and goes, you know what I found the most interesting about that thing, having seen a bunch of other burnout wrecks and damaged versions, they're usually a little bit shorter than that. You guys have one of the sort of like command, maybe module levels. It's big enough to house more people, and well, I think there's a lot of interior work that could be done with it over time. I mean, it's certainly big enough to haul a bunch of people, depending on how many you want to use for an assault on a thing like this. I agree, like you all said, scouting is the way to go. We don't know what these Mothman cultists are about, and hell, to be honest, I don't know that anyone said it, but is there just a possibility that this is a perpetual trap? I mean, they're killing what? 2 different groups of free radicals at this stage? I mean, what do the free radicals want with that boat? Is it that they want travel too? I mean, you're all telling me that area, that they're the some of the most mechanically inclined in the area. I wish I had gotten my eyes on that workshop myself, but I mean, I'm just thinking it just depends on what's going on. Why do the radicals want that boat? Why are the Mothman cultists at that boat? Do they want to travel? Is it floatable? Does it float at all? And if it doesn't, what the hell are we going to do with it? Is it a wasted mission if we go there, get a bunch of us killed, get a bunch of them killed, only to find a completely immobile wreck? I just can't see the free radicals wasting all that time on nothing. They don't seem like the wasteful type. Not waste, what you said, not about hauling trailers down there and getting fuel from a red rocket station. They seem not to be reactive, but proactive.
I mean, like you said, if they sent those teams down there, they must know something. And I imagine if it didn't have the opportunity to work, they wouldn't be sending people down there. Now, they may be more technologically inclined, but I will say that is the exact opposite of what we're dealing with here. We're dealing with people who are, to us, technologically illiterate. And luckily, we have someone who thinks like them and who has fought with them and who knows all their tricks, which is something that the free radicals don't.
Well, that is true. That certainly makes me feel a bit better about it. I'm just thinking if we're going to hit these guys, we should probably hit them hard. Hard, fast, and make sure there's no one left. I heard someone here a moment ago say we don't want them, the Tom's that you saying you don't want them finding us up here. And he goes, oh. From what news has been coming in from Foundation, we do some fairly regular about once a day, we do back and forth communication with them giving us a hell of a download on what's going on in southern Appalachia. But, I mean, they are becoming a pest. Being honest, it seems like you just said about a trap, it seems like they are waiting for groups of settlers to try and establish new beachheads. And then when those are in the works, when people are there and feeling somewhat comfortable, slightly defended, and just unboxing the place, if you will, that's when they seem to get hit the hardest, taken out. It's also part of the reason Foundation's had a hard time keeping tabs on what's what. It's as if all things are clear, no sign of violence, and then poof, a whole encampment gone.
Well, from the sounds of that, it doesn't look like anyone in this room will not be affected by that. So it's time to put away worrying about caps. It's time to put away any of that and time to focus and work together. It's time to not be selfish, because if they spread like you're talking about, every single one of you is within enough range to be taken out by them.
Agreed. Mayor, why don't you bring this to a vote? We've got some good objectives for today. getting people organized for medical courses, shooting courses. Is there any other coursework people want? We could do an extra. We could try and send people for some extra medical supplies. We could send people for other technical supplies. Could get some ammunition going together. I guess I got one last thing to put on the back burner. Mayor, why don't you? I'll let you say it because you're the one that's keeping better tabs on this part of the town. Then we'll go to a vote. Why don't you tell them about the that water filtration spot down the street? Yes, there is a water filtration building that is abandoned. The premise has not been breached in 25 years. Communication with the building is offline, and signs of activity are null. This could be a lucrative opportunity for the town of Hope. If we were to get the water system activated, we could provide purified water to all the residents of Hope. However, I have no records as to the interior of the building. Anyone who risks access should be aware of potential hazards, including toxic water, creatures from the unknown, radiation, and death. Yeah, what he said. In simple terms, there is a water filtration place down past the old cemetery here. None of our guys have gone in there yet. We're starting to go building by building now that we're out of such a tight bubble. But it's not a big place. It's rather small and simple. Mayor, why don't you bring us to a vote here on if people want to do these courses, get this all set up. I'm thinking also, based on what we said, we got a half a day left today till it's dark. We could get a heck of a lot of training set up today, people getting them ready, finish our warehouse over there, and tomorrow we could do a hell of a lot of training and preparation work. And then we might be good to hit them the next day. But we'll see how it fares. Just to recap for everyone, that's us saying we probably got a good 8 more hours of light today. We could use a whole day tomorrow to prepare ourselves, and then we could hit them hard the next. Raven, I need to know one fairly obvious question, but is it true they are more active in the dark? When are we best to hit them? What time of day? If they're night owls, do we hit them in an early spot in the morning? A 10 a.m. strike, a 10 p.m. strike, maybe 5 p.m. they're still asleep. Who knows?
Yes, they love the night. Sam, should you tell them about Mark the mailman?
Mark the mailman?
We cleared out the post office and found one of the employees in the back still going at it. He's a ghoul. I don't think he's all there, but he seems safe, seems friendly, and he's a really hard worker.
A friendly ghoul, you're saying?
Friendly feral ghoul. I mean, we know of friendly ghouls. We got old Rusty. He seems a little bit more feral, though.
He gives gifts too.
Well, I think that sounds lovely. Maybe I'll make a visit over to the post office and say hello to my long-lost family. I don't know the guy, but he gets my vote already. They didn't need your faces, and that's a good step in the right direction, I think. Mayor, why don't you go ahead? We're a little short on time, burning some daylight on this, and I think we about talked ourselves out. The mayor goes, "We will now carry out a vote on the actions of the City of Hope. For all those who wish to engage in violent combat, please raise your hand." And a bunch of people who are willing to fight raise their hands. And he kind of keeps a tally of who those people are. For those who wish to organize training exercises, please raise your hand now. And a couple other people, Jacob included, raise their hands. For all those who wish to authorize a violent attack on the Mothman cultists on the Ohio River, raise your hand. And a bunch of people in the room all raise their hand. There are a couple people who dissent, or just not vehemently, angrily dissent, but just simply just don't raise their hand as well. And by look and count around the room, you got Hell's Bells, who definitely raised their hand, and Rusty's in on it. Lena's in. Terry thinks it's a good idea. Raven's raising her hand. Tom raises his hand as well.
Sam raises his hand.
I raised my hand.
Sam and Jim raise their hand. Well, what does it look like there, buddy? I got my idea, says Tom, and the ayes have it. We will engage in a hostile takeover of the Mothman's base area. You all have your tasks. I must go and oversee the grand opening of the warehouse. Please come and visit for cookies and snacks. And with that, the mayor, very unceremoniously, like Protectrons do, just starts to walk right out of the hall. He's a very one-track mind man. He begins to just press forward, and Tom goes, well, folks, I think that's about all we got for parliamentary procedure today. The mayor is on his mission, so I guess if you want cookies or snacks, maybe they'll be having them over at the warehouse for the grand opening. And I think, without much further ado for our group here tonight, that will bring us to a close. I give you time to give your kind of closing statements or thoughts if anyone has them. But Raven also gets up and, again, just sort of like follows the old Protectron out in his way. And some people kind of laugh at you hear some chuckles at the Protectron kind of just, bolting out the door effectively. And Alfred goes, he's with Lena, and, very, very companion style to her. He's like, what a lovely meeting. I would yell my joy about it, Lena, but I feel like I should use my inside voice. It's just so exciting to see the wheels of democracy turn again in this great country. This is what we were founded upon, Lena, voting on ideas. Oh, if I could only tell you about the times in this town where we used to have town hall meetings, and my master and the family would go and they would sit and listen to people speak. And she goes, oh, well, yeah, Alfred, that's a great story. You know what? Remind me about that later. You could tell us if you're coming with us in the APC. I'm sure some of the guys would love to hear all about that as we're on our way. He goes, oh, what a lovely idea. And they're both walking out the door on that note.
Sam pulls the bottle of rum out. I pull it out of my bag again and kind of reflect on the fact that I have just signed myself and my comrades up for another war on another front and another time, and just kind of take a swig and prepare for what's upcoming.
I think that's lovely. And I think that is a lovely place to bring us to a conclusion. Did Jim or Sam...
Cookies don't know what those are, I want.
Ravens, after chasing after Lena and Mr. Handy Alfred there. Jim, did you have any closing thoughts as you're maybe making your way out of the building, if you wanted to catch up with anyone or do anything?
No.
Okay. Then probably Tom claps you on the shoulder, Jim, as you guys are heading out towards, everyone's sort of making their way out. He goes, well, Jim, you did a hell of a job on the APC there, man. We, getting this back. And Chuck here, appreciate your time and energy on this, too. This has made all the difference for Hope, and we stand more than a fighting chance now as a town. We can really start to clear this area up here, and if we could... I don't want to be putting too many eggs in one basket. But, if we can tighten those relations with the free radicals, and they're on the river, and they have a lumber mill, I'm just saying, I think there could be You guys brought a whole new lease on life to this town. We were about to abandon ship and scatter to the winds, and now, well, if we get that boat, we could even get some troops up here from Foundation, possibly. Get some supplies out of there. Could you imagine? Honestly, I can't.
I mean, if this takes off, I mean, there's just endless possibilities.
And I think Lena brought up some really great points in there, but I just got to say, I think even if this boat is blown to hell, worst case scenario, well, I guess the worst case is that we get our asses kicked, but assuming we win the day, and even if this boat doesn't work, we know there's going to be more. And I'm sure we could find some that aren't blown too far to hell and back. And even if that were the case, even if we couldn't find, well, I have faith in you all. You got wheels now. You could go scouting and see what you find. There's, like you say, endless possibilities.
Yeah. Yeah.
So with that, let's go ahead and bring this thing to a conclusion for tonight. It has been an absolute blast to do this. I have had such a fun time. And I want to let my comrades here on the call, I know Mac probably has to skedaddle real quick. But I did want to direct my friends to some of the companion information. I guess I might need to get this for next week for all of you. I want to kind of do this maybe a little bit even into the pre-show or something. But I'll have to do this off air just to save time. But I want to get you a list of the companion perks that they can pick because they're pretty diverse. Like, for example, if you wanted to choose to bring like Alfred or someone with you in the future, you could choose some upgrades to him, like making him more charismatic, where he gets like extra advantages in that sort of way. I think there's things like extra searching ability, things like that. They're pretty dynamic perks in my opinion, things that really kind of change the direction of that NPC. So just thoughts for the future. We'll go ahead and bring that together. I was going to give him a few upgrades myself today before the show started, but then I was like, oh, actually, that's stuff for you guys to decide in your programming. So we can use next week as sort of a certainly a planning episode, if not a full-on assault episode. I will say, if we're going to do a battle scene next week, we should plan on doing that in... we should plan on that battle scene taking place right after our 9 p.m. break. I think we should be making our way at that point, just as players and time consumption sort of thing. I don't want to cram us into a last minute ordeal with that or anything. I'd like you guys to have some time to scout it out and play it out. So this is me just the loosest outline of next week, but we could do probably about an hour of milling around the town where people do some training courses. And already in my mind, I have some interesting rewards I've got for you guys. And we could do some skill checks and stuff for who does what in what area. So I'll look at having a couple different people around the town sort of almost a skill fair sort of day where everyone's trading off ideas and the rest. And you all can, if you do really well on some of the scores, you might be able to increase some abilities and things like that. Maybe some temporary buffs, maybe some long-term buffs if you do really well. So just thoughts for the next week. I'll iron that out as we get into it. To our listeners at home, I want to thank you up and down for listening to this episode. They're beefy long ones. So thank you for your engagement with them. If you're over on YouTube and you get the chance to give it a thumbs up and a comment, share it out with friends. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell notification icon. I know it sounds so stupid that every YouTuber says it, but again, I'm shown firsthand that videos thrive or die based on the immediate interaction it gets. It's taught me to be, I'm always one of those guys that watches YouTube and I like every video I watch and enjoy, and then I try and leave a comment just to give them a little booster. And if you could do the same for us, it would be very helpful. I'll remind people we are participating in the Bethesda Brand Ambassador Program. So if you're interested in saving 20% off on their shop, you can use the code BTAILS7, BTAILS8, or BTAILS9. You can find those written out below if you need, but it's B like Bethesda, Tales like in Story Tales, and just those numbers. If those those codes ever expire, you can try and up the digit at the end. One of the next codes will be BTails 10 and 11 and 12, and you can imagine where that goes from there. Also, we have a 10% off coupon code for you over on the Modiphius site as well. If you're someone that wants to get involved and get yourself a copy of the Fallout 2D20 game, use the code BTails at checkout there as well. No number at the end, and that code should be permanent. You get 10% off, we get a 10% kickback, and I believe right now they're still doing the Modiphius sale where I think right now the games are still 33% off. It's not just the games, but there's tons of minifigs up there. And definitely, if you decide to empty your pockets and buy like $2,000 worth of miniatures, definitely use the code BTails at checkout. Please save yourself 10% and give us that big kickback. I don't think there's too much else I want to shout out other than subscribe to the Substack, tftfallout.com. And that has the newsletter that goes out, probably emails you like twice a week with the main episode and the overseer log. And I will say, I think this Friday, I think that I've got Dark Knight and Raven who might join me for a recording of that. And Sam, Sky, whenever your schedule allows you, I'd love to have you on the show as well. So if you have any time upcoming, just so you know, you have that option as well if you want to come on and join us. But I want to ask some questions. I opened it up to the audience to come up with some too. Ask some questions about your character's lore, ask questions about their motivations and direction and all that sort of stuff. So these are things to look forward to in the near future. Raven in chat says, Mom, I'm taking out a bank loan. Don't give that look. Kyle said, bye. That's right. Buy them all. Any comments or questions from our gang here before we leave?
No.
DK's good?
I think I am ready. I'm prepared for I'm prepared to get prepared for this upcoming battle.
Hell yeah. And you got other things you can take on too. There's other adventures to be had out there. Radio signals that come and go. And the cultists on the bridge. You saw those guys in the past. Don't know who they are. Don't know who they work with. But these are some options. Raven's typing something. And then we are going to leave, everybody. We're going to get out of your hair for the night. Thank you to everyone that came and joined us in our chat. We do these live. Oh, I hear the sound of a follower or something. A subscriber. Sky dropped the sub in there. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
just resubbed for 24 months.
Thank you so much.
Goat Night, watch for the big boom and see you in the waste.
That's it, everybody. Wait for the big boom. See you in the waste. Good night, everyone. Thank you for your time, and a massive thank you to all of my players. Catch you next week.